I know I've talked about initiation and reaction. You're going away from the motorcycle, always reacting, initiating, you're always kind of leading with your chest. So the same thing is with always kind of moving on the motorcycle, never being so stuck. I see a lot of people trying to be so perfect with their technique, but there's no perfection in motocross. There's precision, but not perfection, because there's constant movement, okay? And whenever you try to be perfect, well, then what do? You tighten up, right? You tighten up, hesitant mistakes. So what I'm getting at is trying to initiate things. If I'm coming into the corner, well, then I'm initiating the direction of the motorcycle's going. If I'm on the gas, I'm initiating the direction the motorcycle's going. So if there's a problem, there's already movement in that motion. So if I have movement in that motion and that bike goes sideways, well, there's already movement to the way I want it to be, almost counterbalancing the way something happened, so then it lessens the reaction of it. If I'm just stuck in one spot and that bike goes sideways, well, then I get affected by when it hooks up. But if I'm rotating my hips out and bringing my chest up and that bike goes sideways when there's movement in there, well, that's going to soften up the reaction of a mistake or hitting something like that. Same off a jump. If I'm coming off a jump and I come off a jump and I sit and I stay in one spot, whatever that bike does, my body's going to do. But if I come off the jump and I'm already initiating where I want to put this motorcycle by coming up, rotating my hips out, bringing my chest forward, straightening my legs out, if that bike kicks sideways or does something, well, I'm going to be able to dissipate that energy because I'm already moving with that motion, going against what just happened. But if I'm stuck in one spot and something happens that I don't want to happen or I'm not ready for, well, now I'm going to be really affected. I just magnified it because I was stuck in a position. There's not initiation that allows constant movement that dissipates little mistakes and bobbles, or the what if. What if my back end goes sideways? What if this happens? What if my hand comes off, foot comes off? Many things can happen in motocross. That's why there's never that word perfection. Precision, yes, not perfection. So again, everybody, try to initiate what you want. Don't rely on the bike, and then you catch up to it. No. I want to come in the corner. Well, I want the bike to lean over, so my body's going to start to lean. My eyes are going to start to look. My head's going to start to move. My elbow's going to start to come up. If I'm coming up a jump, I want to make sure my legs are extending just like the suspension, my hips coming out, so my lower body goes to the rear end of the motorcycle, my upper body comes to the front end of the motorcycle, and then if something happens off the lip, I'm already in this movement to dissipate that energy, because you should be, all your joints should be moving at the same time, and stabilize yourself in the core by putting yourself in this position here and not in a reaction pose or a trying to be so perfect pose or a what if, what could, might happen pose. So again, everybody, initiation is what motocross is, not reaction. There's no thing called perfection in motocross, just precision. So be as precise as you can with your technique, and what comes from that you should be getting what you want. Because you start out in a good position, you end up in a good position. This section decides the next section. So if I come in this section and I'm perfect, well, then that next section should be perfect. If I'm fixing a mistake out of this section, well, then I'm not prepared for the next section, if that makes sense, okay? So initiation, everybody, lead with those eyes, with that head, with that body, with those hips. Lead with it and watch what happens to the motorcycle. The motorcycle will start to follow you, not you following the motorcycle.